properties in London, North London, but I buy a lot of flats with short leases. So I buy the flat, I extend the lease, and then obviously when you extend the lease, that creates an uplift in value.
Welcome to another podcast of Steve's Corner, and today I have a guest all the way down from London, Jason Patterson. Thank you very much for joining me.
You're welcome.
Someone who I have followed on social media, and the reason that I've asked him to come on the podcast, the main reason, not because he's amazing at what he does or anything like that to start with, we'll get into that, it was because of the support that you showed, which I think is very rare in this industry.
Because we're one big family, so obviously everyone does different things, dual sourcing, rent to rents, HMO, etc., etc. But I thought at least if someone's got good content, then it's possible. It's probably best thing to do is probably to share it with others. Yeah. At least others can get to know you as well, build up your following on social media, YouTube, Instagram. So yeah, if it's good content, then I'll just share it.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. And that's how I noticed a lot of what you do, because like I said, the support was unreal, and I was like, wow, this is genuinely seems like a really nice human being. Yeah. So yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. And I watch every week as well, don't worry.
That's good. See, there we go. I like that.
But I was interested to see the day-to-day running of a normal property investor or developer. Yeah. Because some people just show the good side of it, but you also got the bad side. Yeah. And what happens on a day-to-day basis, at least everyone can just put it out there, make their own informed decisions.
Yeah, well, that was the whole point of the weekly, because obviously we do a touch of education, and we have the property circle, which is a network, and I have a massive plan. Me and Isabella have a massive plan for that. But I didn't want people just to think that that's all we was about. I wanted them to see we run a business Monday to Friday of property development. And it's coming across. We're on our 28th week consistently. It's good. So that's really good. So it's good that you've acknowledged it and you watch it, which is really kind. So thank you for that. I really appreciate it. So we're going to go into some bits and pieces about what you do, who you are, and obviously what you offer. Going back to what you just said about the day-to-day side of things, you obviously just saw a clear day-to-day of our COO, Tom, who's had the run around this morning, who wasn't happy at all.
Yeah, good days and bad days.
Yep, he was burning up when he came in this office. He was bright red. He was ready to lose it. And because you guys was in, he's never met you before, he kept it quite calm.
I can see the steam coming off.
Yeah, he was not happy. He's literally over there watching us now.
Nah, he's happier now.
Give people an insight into what you do and who you are, please.
Yeah, so basically I buy a lot of leasehold properties in London, North London, but I buy a lot of flats with short leases. So I buy the flat, I extend the lease, and then obviously when you extend the lease, that creates an uplift in value. So I'll give you like a typical example. You buy a flat, one bedroom flat, worth about 170,000, North London, with a short lease, maybe 66 years, 65 years. You extend the lease, might cost about 15.5 grand or so. Then it brings it up to a particular level, and then the end value might be about 235, 240. So you've created about 40 to 50 grand worth of uplift by just extending the lease. Yeah.
So you've basically done a full renovation on a property, but just never had to touch it really, just going to the paperwork.
Exactly.
So give for me, because I'm not completely savvy on this, I know what it is, and obviously I've been following you, so I understand it, and I think one of your friends, Ricky, did he call you the short lease king or something like that? So that's a good title. These properties that come up for sale with short leases, a lot of people will be scared to touch them because obviously the short leases. When you go to extend it, I'm presuming you have to speak to the owner, or if it's council or something like that. What's the chances of it being extended? Is it just based purely on each individual property, or have you got some kind of formula that you run with?
Yeah, well, when I do purchase them, I look for a minimum uplift of about 20 to 25% going forward. But when you're extending a lease, then if you've owned a property for a minimum of 2 years, then the freeholder is obliged to give you a lease extension regardless. It's law. If you apply within the first 2 years of ownership, then they have the option to refuse your request. Okay. Yeah? So there's two main routes. There's the informal route, and then there's the formal route. The formal route is the Section 24 route. Yeah, Section 42 route, sorry.
I was going to say Section 24, something like that.
So basically, you write to the freeholder, You say to them, look, I'd like a lease extension to either to 99 years, to 125 years, or to 90 years above what it is at the moment with peppercorn ground rent.
Okay.
Yeah, and then they're obliged to obviously give you that extension for a premium going forward. But there's ways around it because the law states that you have to own it for 2 years before you extend the lease. But what you can do when you're actually purchasing the property, like it's going through now, you can write to the freeholder, or your solicitor can write to the freeholder, asking for permission to extend the lease without owning it for 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, that's route number one. Number two, you can ask the current vendor to serve a Section 42 notice on your behalf, so they serve it, and then when you complete, that Section 42 notice is signed over to yourself after you get the keys.
Okay.
And then you finish off the process. It takes about 6 to 8 weeks afterwards. Another method is for you to purchase the leasehold flat, and then you can extend the lease and complete all in the same day.
Okay.
As long as the vendor's obviously happy with that.
Yeah.
So there's different ways around it.
How the hell did you come across this strategy?
Yeah, basically, this is from way back anyway, because I've been doing it for at least, 20 years now, starting in 2001. I couldn't afford to buy the houses initially, so I just thought, right, I'm going to buy flats, because where I am, houses are quite expensive. So I thought, I need to start buying some flats just to get financially free. So on average, you might make about £550, £600 per flat. So I got to maybe 4 flats by about 26, 27, and I was making about over £2,000 a month, 2,500 a month, yeah. So I was like, oh, this is all right. I've matched my full-time wage.
Yeah.
So I have the option of retiring if I want to. But when you see people like Oprah Winfrey, Alan Sugar, Richard Jones, you know what I mean? Them guys are still working. They're multi-millionaires, multi-billionaires, and they're still working. You don't see them retire early, go to Hawaii, rest, lie on a beach, relax. Yeah, I got money. No, I keep on going. So I started to continue to buy more flats. And then eventually, obviously, these flats have leases on them. So the leases, some of them were running down. So I went to, during a credit crunch, I had about, I think, 7 or 8 properties with Birmingham Midshires.
Okay.
Then they changed their rules after the credit crunch. They said you're only allowed to have, I think, the maximum of like 3 or 4 buy-to-lets with them. So the ones that I had with them, they said, right, you can stay with us, but you can't extract any cash. Yeah, so no further advances, no additional borrowing. So I thought, all right, the interest rates are quite low. It's like 0.99 above the base rate. So when the rates dropped, I was happy. The amount of cash flow I was getting for peanuts in terms of the mortgage, I was happy. But then I thought, it's so much equity that's been built up in them, but I can't take it out. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to move 4 of them properties over to TMW. Yeah. Now, I went round with the valuer, the surveyor, after you applied for the mortgages, the remortgage basically. And then 3 of them were fine. And then the 4th one, he said to me, we can't give you the 30 grand off or out of this property. We can only give you maybe 10 grand of it. I said, why? Because the lease is short. But as soon as you extend that lease, then what you can do, contact TMW, send them over the paperwork that the lease has been extended, and then we'll release the other 20 grand for you. So I said, oh, okay, that's a good idea. So I looked around after that for other properties with short leases. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to buy the short leases, extend the lease, and then after that, create an uplift in value.
Wow.
So it's a paper version of the BRR,
Yeah.
but less work.
Yeah.
And what I found as well, I've got a mixture of strategies. I've got some where it's the BRR that need doing up. Got some where you can reconfigure them from 1 beds to 2 beds or 2 beds to 3 beds. And then also, obviously, the short leases. But if it's got all 3 of them together, then they call them ones a triple threat.
A triple threat?
Yeah, triple threat. And
More
you can
money.
make the most money for you can
More
make
money,
a killing
isn't it?
out of them. Instead of you making like 40, 50 grand, if you can reconfigure it, and you can do a refurb on it as well, you're getting like 60s or 70s just from one property,
And
which is good.
Yeah, and to get 60 or 70,000 from a property in today's market, you need to spend about 400,000 or 500,000.
Exactly.
Because the 100,000 ones and the 150s, them unicorns don't exist at the minute.
Yeah.
So it's a good strategy.
Yeah, it's a good strategy.
For newbies, new people getting into property who have no experience whatsoever, who are watching this podcast now, is it a strategy that they can get into?
They can, but you need a bit of cash with this one. It's not like rent-to-rent or deal sourcing or lease option agreements. You need a bit of cash to start with. So if you were to get into it, you probably need a JV partner initially. So, for example, you can bring the cash, I'll bring the knowledge, and then just going that way. Or yeah, use some form of funding basically. Because for ones that I buy, for example, like I said, they're about 160, 170, 180-ish, 25% deposit. You get a normal buy-to-let mortgage on it. So you need a good 45, 50 grand. And then you need another 15, 16 minimum for lease extension.
Yeah.
So you put in about 60-ish, 65.
And if there's a renovation on top of that as well.
Exactly, yeah.
So you could be looking at £100,000.
Yeah, depending on, yeah.
But it's a great strategy.
Yeah.
It's a really, and it's a really interesting strategy as well, because it's not something that you hear about every day in the property world. What would you say your, out of 10, how many have gone through comfortably?
All of them.
That's amazing.
I've never been gazumped, you know.
That's amazing.
Yeah, because someone's asking me that. We were on Clubhouse the other day. Oh, yeah, I just got gazumped the other day. Blah. But I was thinking, but I thought, wait a minute, I've never been gazumped. Never, ever.
Touch wood.
Yeah, touch wood.
Touch wood. You don't want to go out of here now and say, Steve, I got gazumped, you know, a week later.
I know. No, I've been lucky. I do all my due diligence. But what helps me is because I buy in the same location a lot of the time, the agents look after me, so they always phone me up and let me know if something's coming on soon. Like I had one about 7-8 days ago. Said, yeah, Jason, we've got one coming up in your favourite location. Like I just give you the heads up, so when it comes on, you can be first in there. So they always give me first refusal on those properties. So now, because I'm a regular with them and they want my business, they look after me. So even if the vendor's kind of a bit shaky or a bit, I'm not sure if I'm going to sell this, blah, 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 they always try and push it through. Yeah. Which is a good thing. They want their commission, and obviously they want me to have the property so I can come out to them with more business. So,
well, that's another thing I talk a lot about. I get a lot of agents calling me up with deals, and I get a lot of stuff sent before it goes onto the market, or I get a lot of stuff where, like you said, I get a nudge before it's coming on the market. And people say to me, Steve, how? What have you done to put yourself in that position? And my answer is always the same: credibility. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it, and I always follow through. If I've made an offer, and it's make or break, and it's not really going to where it needs to be, I will still go ahead with it. Because as long as I'm not losing money, I'll still go ahead with it, because the agents always come back. Yeah. So what advice would you give as well then on that? Is that the same advice, or is there anything different?
Yeah, well, sometimes when you're first starting out, you might try different areas. You might try Middlesbrough, might try Doncaster, might try Liverpool, might try Manchester, more like a scattergun approach. I wouldn't do that. I'd stick to one area. Do your research, your due diligence, stick to one area first and build up your rapport with the agents in that one area. That will come back to you. So they'll phone you up, like I said, like what happened with us. So we've got one available, blah, blah, blah. So try and plant your seeds in a particular area. So that's how basically I've done it. So for the last 20 years or so, the agents, they've had different managers, but the actual directors know who I am. So whoever the manager of that branch is, they say, look, Jason, we've known him for a long time. Like, give him stuff straight away. So it's best to build up that rapport with the agent or the director, but stick to one area. And then even during bad times, like now, there's a lack of supply in certain areas in the UK. But at least I've got that supply line. So people are phoning me, Jay, like, no properties out there. I'm like, really? Like I'm still getting calls. Still getting calls regularly, so I can still buy it. So in times like this, it's good that you got that network or that link, because you've stayed in one particular area rather than have a scattergun approach, like two in Doncaster, like 2 in Birmingham, 2 in Doncaster, Manchester, 2 in Liverpool. It's not a good thing. Sometimes I know people are testing out different areas to see if it works or not, but try and do as much due diligence or research as you can to choose a specific area and then build your rapport in that area. I mean, that will help you long term as well,
So, how previously I've read that you was a teacher. How long was you a teacher for?
15 years.
And what was you teaching?
Maths.
I'm the numbers guy.
That was it,
Numbers guy. It's my whole thing. Whole life is around numbers. I believe life is just numbers, if I'm honest. So it's a bit of a transition, isn't it? From a teacher, where was you at? What school was you? Secondary? Was you
college level?
College level.
A-level, GCSEs, all that kind of stuff.
So to go from that to this, it's a big jump, really. So it completely 2 different career paths, but the numbers and the things kind of like it works, if that makes sense.
Exactly.
So what was the transition? Was it just because you wanted a life where you literally dictated it on your terms, or was it just something
Yeah.
you stumbled onto?
Even before that, because I was in Sainsbury's for 11 years, and then transitioned into teaching, and then obviously into property full time. But during Sainsbury's, I managed to buy 5 properties while I was in Sainsbury's.
Wow.
I was in grocery. So I was putting out the waters, got checkout trains, done a bit of trolleys in the car park, was alright. But yeah, I managed to buy 4 then, and then I went into teaching after that. And when I was in teaching, I was just sitting there one day, just thinking, whoa, like, I've got to stay in this job for the next 40 to 45 years, getting up at 6:30 every morning. It's like bringing homework and marking it. I said, this is too much. This is long. There must be another way out of this. Yeah, whether it's like property or business, starting a business, or stocks and shares, or nowadays crypto as well.
Yeah.
But I just thought there must be a way of earning regular income, passive income, without actually working for it. So property was the way that I wanted to go, basically. Yeah, because it overlaps a little bit. So I was in Sainsbury's I stayed there after like uni, and then went into teaching. But while I was about, I think like 22, 23, 24, that's when I started to build a portfolio after that kind of thought. So I thought, this is too much.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a person that wakes up early. I like waking up late. Even today was like, I have to get up early. But I made it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, just that kind of thing. I mean, I noticed that, like I said, after 4 or 5 properties, I matched my full-time wage. So I was thinking, why don't more people do this kind of thing? It's like it's a no-brainer to me.
We're not programmed for it though, are we? From young,
No.
we're not told about this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
It's-
exactly. In school, yeah.
Yeah, it's not something they want people to know, because
Exactly.
we'd all be out doing the same thing, and
Yeah.
the country would just fail.
Yeah.
So yes,
Some
that's
made to be employees, some are made to be like bosses.
yeah.
And then in this, by then, I had a few actually by then. I mean, the principal came in to a staff meeting one day, and then I think we were merging with another college, and he just said, I think some of the teachers were talking, and then he just said, whoa, he just shut them down. I was like, whoa, yeah, when you're one of the, was it? He said, yeah, when you're part of the 150 club, then you can come and speak to me. So I was thinking, 150. Yeah, so in my mind, I was thinking, you know what, all right, 150. How many properties do I need to get 150 a year?
Yeah.
So I started to calculate it. And then my next goal was to get to 150 with passive income to match the principal's income without actually working, as in like putting the labour.
Bold statement he made though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What's he doing now?
He passed away.
Oh wow, can't say anything.
He passed away.
Yeah. Nana H. Why high?
Yeah,
Can't,
he passed away.
can't-
Yeah,
can't- well,
bowel cancer.
Kind of that's
Yeah.
Can't touch any more on that subject because obviously it is what it is.
Yeah,
But it's a
yeah.
very bold statement to make
Yeah.
to somebody in a room, like your salary. It's quite.
I know.
It's not
I
good,
know.
is it?
Exactly.
So
I
that
said-
gave you a bit of motivation. Should we say
Yeah.
actually gave you motivation?
Yeah, it did. Because too many politics and then backstabbing and trying to jostle for position,
Yeah.
like head of department, director, etc. was too much. So I just thought there's an easier way of doing it. And plus, sometimes you're in the picket line.
Yep.
So the government said, there's no pay increase for the public sector, or you might get 0.5% or 1%, and you have to go on strike. But I thought, what 1% of like 25, 30 grand, that's nothing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if I increase my rents by a little bit, I've matched that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's not worth it. When you look at it in layman's terms, it's not worth it.
No.
Yeah, but obviously some people are programmed to work
Yep.
rather than earn income passively.
Yeah.
So
9 to 5. That's the typical thing in the UK.
yeah,
Now, a lot of people do 9 to 5. A lot of people want to get out of 9 to 5, and a lot of people want to stay in the 9 to 5. And there's something to be said about both, about owning your own business or running your own business and chasing your dreams and doing 9 to 5. 9 to 5, I've got a lot of people around me who do it, who, when I speak to them on a Friday, they're like, I don't have to ever think about work now till Monday morning. And you see how happy they are. Friday night, they're out for a meal. Saturday, they're out with family and friends, having a drink. No worries in the world. Sunday, they have Sunday dinner. They watch the football or whatever they're doing, go for a walk, back to work Monday morning. There's something to be said about that.
Yeah.
Just that each person's built differently. For me, couldn't do it.
Exactly,
Just
yeah.
haven't got it in my brain. With you did it.
Yeah.
You had that 9 till 5, and obviously this is why you're in property now, because you wanted to change it.
Yeah.
What do you say to the people who are in the 9 to 5 who want to do what you have done but can't physically get up to do it? Is there anything you can say to them?
I'd say two things. You can either get a mentor to start you off, or look at all the free material out there. You've got social media, you've got YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, etc., etc. Look at all of that first. Try and school yourself in terms of property strategies. Then try and choose one where you think that, yeah, that suits me more. Because there's so many like different ones out there, but sometimes that strategy may not suit you as a person. Because I know people that do HMOs, some do rent-to-rents, some do property development. Yeah, some people like Gavin buys land, gets planning permission and sells it on. So choose a strategy that suits your personality. Some like short leases or flats like myself. Some people don't like leases at all, too much hassle. So choose a strategy that you like, using the free information that's out there. And then even if for example, you're thinking, all right, it's a bit too much, I've got all this information, I can't take it to the next level or action that, then maybe get someone on board, a mentor, but get a mentor that wants to do your strategy or is doing your strategy that's been there and done it.
Yep.
So don't choose someone that's got a textbook and say, right, do this, do this, do that. Choose someone that's actually done it, been there, done it, and doing it for you to be mentored by, just so you can move forward.
Well, you do mentoring, don't you?
Yeah, that's correct.
And from what I've come across in this interview and obviously, the podcast, and obviously sitting with you previously with your partner, who is 3 weeks away from dropping.
Close,
congratulations on that.
Thank you.
That's gonna be huge, and it's a boy.
Yeah, boy.
So that's good. But you do mentoring, and you're very humble. You're very down to earth. You can clearly see that from social media as well.
Yeah.
Very relaxed, and when anybody wants to get into this strategy and they pick a mentor, they need to pick somebody that they relate to, I believe. You have to be relatable to the person.
True.
And I feel that you have a relatability because you're so easy to speak to and so relaxed. Sometimes these podcasts can be quite forced. This is very just easy. It's a very easy conversation. So so if you do want mentoring and there's something that you physically think that in your head, I can do this strategy that he does, contact him. All the links will be in the description below. Or was it the other way around? The description will be in the link below. That's what it is. But yeah, everything will be down there. All your social medias will be everywhere. So guys, if you do want to get into this, please contact him, have a conversation, and just see what it leads to. You're very relaxed today. You're in a tracksuit. Yeah. You're in a cap. Comfortable. What's your take on this new generation where I'm normally in a tracksuit, cap, jeans, t-shirts. I normally have a chain on, a watch on, and bits and pieces. But now we're back in Birmingham town centre. This is Colmore Row. It's quite a prestigious area. I'm struggling because I'm finding that people, doesn't matter what I have, doesn't matter what my portfolio is, doesn't matter what my net worth is, people are looking down on me. And I've seen it over the last 7 weeks. And my initial instinct is to say, fuck you. But unfortunately, that's not how the world works. Because the guys who are in the three-piece suits who don't have anywhere near anything that you've got, or not even the knowledge that you've got, get more respect. Do you have any advice for people out there who are younger, who are trying to get in and relate to people like me and you, but think because we do it, they can do it? What do you have any advice for that?
No, well, I do actually.
That's good. I'm glad, because that would have been like, okay, next question. Let's go on to the next thing. That's quite good. I'm glad that you do have advice for that.
No, everyone's different. So I've come from like a corporate, not really corporate, but a formal background. So I used to go in the shirt. When I first started, I used to wear a tie, shirt, trousers, shoes, etc., etc. So I know about the formal kind of life. But when you're more of an entrepreneur or a business person, your style of dress sense kind of changes, as you know already. But it's best to wear things that you feel comfortable with. So I don't know. So for me personally, tracksuit, sometimes a cap as well. As long as you get the job done, then it doesn't matter what you wear really.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean in terms of being accepted in a certain set of people, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But if you go to corporate meetings, then maybe dress more formal.
Yeah.
We speak differently to them. They speak more, I don't know.
I know what you're trying to get at. I know exactly what you're trying to get at. And the last week, it's really bothered me. I actually talked about it in my weekly yesterday. I actually was sitting in Pret and I just had a conversation about it. More of a rant, really.
Yeah.
Because a lot of my guys who are here at the office, they've been to a few networking events around the Birmingham area. And a few of the events that they've gone to, they've dressed quite casually.
Yeah.
And people have just completely ignored them, bypassed them. Yeah, they've gone to another one where the same people are, and they've gone in suits and stuff, and people have paid attention to them.
Exactly.
And I'm like, is that right?
It shouldn't be, but that's the way it is. So,
Can it be changed?
I doubt it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
I doubt it. But so only way around it is to do probably what you're doing, hold events, 100 people, 150 people, whatever it is, and then we'll be around like-minded people with the same sort of mindset. Then we can dress the way that you want, because they're more open-minded in that sense.
I've tried to do that, like you said, with the networking events. The ones that we have where we have 100, 150 people. I'm kind of like, the last networking event that we did, I came in shorts and a t-shirt. And people were walking in and they was in suits and stuff like that. And
I take you seriously, some of them do they?
Yeah, I don't want to portray to everybody out there, especially the younger generation, because the younger generation is what I want to help. I obviously understand that there is an elite in the UK. There always will be an elite. Doesn't matter how you dress it up, and the elite will always be the three-piece suits, top chain, top tier. You don't even see them, and it runs through. You can't change it. But I don't want people to follow me personally and go, "Oh, Steve had a jacket and a backwards cap on, and he went and viewed a house, and he bought a house, and he made £50,000. So they turn up at the viewing a week later somewhere else with a backwards cap on, and they get no respect and things like that. So I'm kind of thinking in my head, do I need to set an example, and do I need to change the way that I am, because people are going to think that you can do it. It's a bit like Zuckerberg when turns up in a hoodie and things. But if you remember, if people go back to the beginning when he was doing that, no one took him seriously. But then when he earned billions, everyone wanted to take him seriously.
Exactly.
So is it acceptable to do once you've made yourself, or is it not?
You're right. Probably, you're right. Same with him, Steve Jobs. Used to wear the same top and bottoms all the time. Yeah. But I know what you mean. If you're going to a more formal event, like say you're going to meet some of the Wimpy or Berkeley Homes or Fairview Homes directors or something, you can't dress like this.
No.
Yes, just more formal.
It's really bad, though,
serious. Yeah.
Because you're the same person going in a tracksuit or a suit.
Exactly.
And you've got the exact same knowledge, and you might be more smarter than them in the whole room.
Yeah, exactly.
And they don't take you serious because you're in a tracksuit.
Yeah. You have to be more formal. But if you're around amongst friends or fellow property developers or property investors, it's fine. But setting an example, I suppose when you go to the big meetings, like today, you dress kind of smart.
Yeah, I've got a meeting this afternoon.
Exactly.
I've got a meeting this afternoon,
Otherwise, you wouldn't have dressed like...
I'd have been in my tracksuit.
Exactly. So you dress for the occasion, basically. Yeah, rather than... But at least when they see that on your weeklies, then they know, right, if I'm going to a big meeting, I'm not going to wear my tracksuit. I'm going to wear a shirt, a tie, shoes, so they take me more seriously. But when you're in the office or going to a viewing or certain viewings, you can get away with just casual wear as well. And as well, another thing, with some of them might not take you seriously. So if you go for viewings, for example, I had got the BM and I got the Bentley as well. Sometimes that can affect the agent. Yeah, that's another thing. So depending on who I'm going to see,
you know what car.
And how to dress. Like the other day, I went to a viewing, and then I just wore my normal watch. And then afterwards, the agent phoned me up and said, "Oh, it's a nice kettle. That means watch, by the way." And then just in case some people did.
Just in case.
Yeah, because some people don't know. Because I got that message the other day. It's what's a kettle? I'm thinking it's a watch. So okay, like Cockney. They said to me, "Oh, nice kettle." I was like, "Oh yeah, so we're interested in giving you the property, mate." So I thought, because he was just checking me out all the way through. Yeah. But I parked my car around the corner, so he didn't see my car. Yeah. But things like that, people are watching you without you knowing that they're watching you. Yeah. And they're making a perception of you. Of
and you can have a negative or a positive.
Yeah.
It's all down to the person.
Exactly.
Jealousy or non-jealousy, or do they want to work with you because they believe there's money there and stuff like that. Your car is beautiful, by the way. It's a lovely. Thank you. It's a lovely car. And cars, it's a big thing in your life, or is it not?
Not really, but you know what? That's only the fourth car that I've had.
Oh, really?
In my life. Yeah.
It's not bad for a fourth car, is it, at all?
Yeah, I had a Vauxhall Corsa. I had the...
That was my first car.
BM, is it? Yeah? All right. Yeah, same here. Then I had the BM E36, and then I've had the E46. That's you.
Yeah. So Ams is behind the camera waving like that. Ams is that guy. He loves it. He's big into his older cars, aren't you? He's a
bring them back to life.
Yeah, he loves them.
Yeah, that's good.
We might do a podcast with Ams on cars. It might actually do something. So from the BM, you had the E46. What was next?
E36, E46, and then the Bentley. And that's it. Just those four.
Wow.
Yeah. When I kept the E46 for a bit, because obviously certain places you can't go with a certain car to. So I thought, let me have two cars, and then one for this, and then one for that, basically. Yeah. But I got rid of it recently because my partner's got an Audi, so I thought, you know what, let me just get rid of it and then just have the Audi like a second car. Okay. We can share it. So but after a while, you need to treat yourself.
Yeah, well, that was what I was about to say. We work so hard, and is it... Your car is technically classed as a flashy car. Yeah. Let's be honest. It's not your everyday run-of-the-mill car. Yeah. Do you feel that people judge you because you've got the car and start thinking that you're better than you are? Or do you feel that people look at you and go, fair play to him, he's worked so hard for so long that he's got the car?
It's more towards that. Because some people know that I kept the BM for like 17 years. Okay. And then they were like, oh, why don't you change your car? Even the agents were like, oh, you got all these properties, why don't you just change your car? I'm like... I'm happy with this. I'm comfortable. Yeah. When you look at Warren Buffett, for example, he lives in the same house in the 1970s. Drives some simple car. Yep. Goes to McDonald's in the mornings. He hasn't got a chef in his house. Yeah. That comes to his house. So I'm thinking it's what makes you happy. Yeah. Rather than how much money you got, kind of thing.
Cars make me happy.
Yeah.
I'll be completely honest with you. And people watch the weekly and watch channel, and I'm a big car freak. I always have been a car freak. It's only we've been on social media a year, but this isn't new. I've had these cars for a very long time. Yeah. What people got to remember is I only drive the car from 6 o'clock in the morning till 7 to go to the office, and I drive it home at 8 o'clock at night till 9 o'clock, and I don't get to drive the car any other time of the day. So that's my enjoyment of my car. Yeah. People think, oh, he's got a car, he's out. No, I don't get to drive it ever. It's what makes me happy. Exactly. It's like all the hard work I've done, I'm like, that's what I've done it for, and things like that. And I like people who can actually come out to the world and go, yes, I am doing it because I want to buy something. I am trying to build, generational wealth. I'm trying to look after my children, or whatever you're trying to do, or make your family financially free. But I love the people who actually will stand up and go, no, I want a Lamborghini. And I'm going to work to get one. Yeah, it's goals. And I like that. I like people who can actually say it, because I hear a lot of things from people like money isn't everything. Yeah. Well, try paying your bills with no money.
Exactly.
It's having 100 million doesn't make me happy. That's because you've got 100 million. You give 100 million to an unhappy person, they might see it differently to you. Exactly. And it's all down to the individual. Yeah. So there's no right or wrong answer there, I believe. But your car is lovely.
Exactly.
It's very, very nice.
It's the Lego application. Yeah. Because you don't put in earning it if you're not going to enjoy it. No. So you have to use it to spend just on experiences, holidays, decent house, decent car. All those things are best. Yeah. Otherwise, why are you earning it for?
Exactly.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. It's good. Yeah. Well, 30 minutes is up. It's gone again really quick. Yep. And I feel like we've got a really good insight into what you're about and who you are. I would love to do another podcast with you in the future and maybe break down a bit more about what you have got and how it works, and some figures and some numbers and stuff like that. If you're ever open to that, that'd be great. Yeah. And we're also going to go and do the 30 questions now, which I've talked to you about before. That is really cool. You're going to really like that. But thank you very much for coming down.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate it, and hope you guys have enjoyed this podcast, because it's a really good insight to people who do different strategies. We don't hear about this strategy very often, and it's something that I don't do, but it's something I will certainly be looking at in the Birmingham area now, because it's so much easier than doing a buy, refurbish, refinance, because you have to deal with builders and stuff. In this case, it's mainly paperwork and using your brain, but it might be a lot easier than dealing with builders, because they are a pain in the arse most times. But yeah, thank you very much for tuning in, and I will catch you soon with another Steve's Corner in about a week's time.